Hello my friends, it's Lisa, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a bunch of books that I have purchased and received, mostly received recently. This is kind of like a spring book haul. It's kind of books that I started getting in like February until literally just yesterday, and like 80% of these books, maybe even more, I'm not gonna actually do the math, but a good amount of these books just came from my friend Franny. So Franny is the sponsor of today's book haul. No, but seriously, so many of these books came from my friend Franny, so shout out to them, love them, will die for them, don't know what I did to deserve her friendship, but here we are. So I'm just gonna get into the haul. So I think only 2 of these books I actually got in February, so I'll start with those ones. So the first one is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I did do a whole vlog for this, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, plus like everyone else is talking about this book still so much, so I'm sure you're sick of hearing about it, but yes, read this already and hauled this in February, and I really loved this. I gave it, I think, 4.5 stars, but I like technically rounded it up to a 5 on Goodreads. The cover may not be excellent, but the contents inside of it is what matters, and that is excellent. This was so good. And then the other book that I got in February was my book of the month pick for that month, and I picked Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I have heard so many good things about this book, and it just sounds so cute, and also something that's gonna like really hit home and hurt my feelings. I think the main character like is feeling a bit lost. She's just finished, I think, her PhD and doesn't really know what to do going forward and doesn't want to disappoint her father, but she ends up taking like a girls trip to Las Vegas and ends up getting married to a girl, and then I think she like decides to go and live with that person that she married. So I don't know, it sounds wild, it sounds fun. I've heard so many good things and I'm very excited to pick it up. Also, I don't have book of the month anymore because I got it as like a gift for my birthday in 2019. Time is an illusion, but I think it was 2019 and it was for 12 months. So I did skip clearly a lot of months in between, but this was the last one, so I'm hoping it was a good one. Obviously I could get the subscription again, but you know what I mean. So the next few books I'm going to talk about is the first little pile of books that I have from Franny. Basically what we're going to discuss is how much of an angel Franny is, because I think it was kind of in January and February I was not doing my best mentally, and Franny knew that, so just sent me a bunch of books from my Amazon wish list, as well as a bunny stuffed animal and a big bag of Reese's Pieces. I almost said Reese's Pieces. I can't help it, the way that I grow up. It's literally the way that I've always been saying it. But you actually may have seen that bag in the background of some of my vlogs. It's pretty hard to miss. Bright orange, very big. So shout out to Franny for just being the best. But the first book that she sent me was The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill, and this is so cute. I'm obsessed with this. It's basically about these little tea dragons that brew tea, and when you drink the tea you can see the memories of their owners. It's just so cute and so wholesome, and the art style really matches the vibe. It's, as you can see on the cover, it's just so stunning. The colors are beautiful and I love it so much. I know that there's more books in this series, so I'm definitely going to have to read them because this was just some good wholesome content. So the next book they sent me was Watch Us Rise by Renee Watson and Ellen Hagen, and I think this is about these girls who go to this progressive school, but they're still not really like listening to more progressive ideas. And I think these 2 main characters kind of start their own club, and they start this thing called Write Like a Girl, and it's like an online outlet for essays, poems, and actions to inspire, and I think it goes viral, so the school's trying to like shut it down, and it's just a whole thing, and it just sounds really good and really powerful. So excited to read this. Don't know when I will, but I'm very excited to. Also, I just love this cover and everything. I love the like coral pink color, as well as the yellow on the spine, and just the illustrated style. I'm obsessed with it, so can't wait to read it. And then the last book that they sent me during this time was On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I'm so excited to finally own this. I've only been saying I need to buy it for years. This is on a bunch of my like beginning of the year TBR videos that I did, which I don't know why I did so many, because I can tell you this right now, those TBRs aren't going so well. I need to get going on reading a lot of the books that I wanted to read this year. But anyway, this was on a lot of those lists, so I'm going to definitely try and read this year. I don't think I can go another year without having read this, so yeah, super excited about this. I love Angie Thomas's books, and I've also heard the audiobook is really good, so I might do a mixture, but yeah, finally have it, and I'm super excited about it. The next book I'm going to talk about, again, just going to briefly mention because I did a whole reading vlog for it, but that is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. We love Shadowhunters in this house. I am simply trash for the Shadowhunter books and the world and the characters. It's just so fun, so angsty, so dramatic, but I love them. So of course I had to mention that I got this as well. The next book is one that I received as an ARC, and that is The Descent of the Drowned by Anna Laldeen, and this was sent to me from Books Forward, so thank you to them again. But I really liked this book. I thought it was so interesting. A big part of this book is kind of building the world, and I know that that might be annoying for some people, spending so much time with world building and establishing characters and everything, but I found it super interesting, and then like the actual plot was super intriguing as well. There definitely are a lot of trigger warnings for this. They actually have it listed at the beginning. Triggers for physical and emotional abuse, mention of rape and sodomization, sexual assault, suicide, bigotry, drug abuse, and human trafficking. So it definitely doesn't like shy away from talking about those things and showing those things, but I found it super interesting and really good, so I'd highly recommend checking it out. Also, this cover is stunning, so we love to see it. The next book that I'm going to haul is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, and I think this came out at the end of March, maybe beginning of April. I don't remember, but I got it around the time that it was released. And I'm actually still currently reading this. I started this like 2 weeks ago and I'm still reading it. So I definitely need to get going. I don't want this to take me as long to read like King of Scars did. That one took me like a month and a half to read. So not good. We don't want that to happen again. But yeah, so far I am enjoying it. I'm like a little over 200 pages in. I think I'm almost halfway-ish. So I am enjoying it so far. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I feel like this might be the last book, maybe, in the Grishaverse. I feel like she might pull another one out from somewhere, but it might be the last one, so I also want to just kind of enjoy it while it lasts. Alright, now we're into the books that I just received yesterday that are all from Franny. Basically, Franny had a bunch of books that they were going to be getting rid of, and she was saying like she'd either be selling them at like, what's that place called that I want to go? Half Price Books. I think they're going to be selling some of their books to Half Price Books, but first she did ask me if I wanted any, which was very kind and very generous. I don't know what I did to deserve this friendship. Anyway, but I have quite a lot of books to talk about that I just received from Franny, so very excited. Let's get into it. So the first book that came from Franny's bookshelves is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and I believe this is a contemporary novel, and we're following two siblings, and I think they used to be really close and then eventually they kind of drift apart, and I think it's told in like two timelines, and also like the first half is one siblings' perspective and then the second half is the others. So it sounds really interesting. I've heard pretty good things. I think Franny said that they really enjoyed this, and I've just heard other people talk about it and love it, so I'm excited to read this. Next, I got two Morgan Matson books. I have never read a Morgan Matson book before, so when I saw this in the pile of books that I was able to choose from, I said, yeah, sure, I'll take those. So the first Morgan Matson book that I picked out was Save the Date, and this is a signed first edition. Hello? I feel a little bit unworthy of having this because I've literally never read a Morgan Matson book before, so hopefully I like it. Let's look at it. Oh my god, there's stickers! Wow, this is excellent. This is really speaking to me. What's this? Go to and enter the code. I don't know what this is, but I'll figure it out. Then there's also some stickers as well that are super cute, and here is the signature. I really hope I like this book. Honestly, I don't really know much about this book. I know that there is like a wedding and I think a lot of things go wrong. I don't know. Sounds very cute. Also, it does say take a peek underneath. There's something under the dust jacket. Wow. I really better like this book. So I don't know what any of this means, but it's a thing. Wow. If I don't like it, if a Morgan Matson stan wants this book, I will send it to them. But hopefully I like it because this is a beautiful book to have. So yeah, this was the first Morgan Matson book that I picked out, and then the other one was Since You've Been Gone, and that just took so much restraint to not sing the Kelly Clarkson song. Again, don't know much about it, but I feel like I've heard pretty good things about this one. I think the Save the Date one, I've heard kind of mixed things, but I feel like I've heard really good things about this. Bonus content inside. Wow, I'm just really winning with these Morgan Matson books, aren't I? Again, I don't know much about this one either. I think it's following two best friends and one goes missing. That's it. That's all I know. And to be honest, that's kind of all I want to know. I'm very excited to read this and also just read a Morgan Matson book for the first time. So the next few books that I picked out were a part of a trilogy, and it's the Angel Fall trilogy, I think, by Susan E. So there's Angel Fall, which is the first one, World After, which I think is the second one. Oh yeah, it's a sequel. So this is the second one, and then End of Days, which is the third one. And this just kind of worked out pretty perfectly because I was looking through my Goodreads kind of at the beginning of the year and going through and deleting books off of my like want to read shelf that I have no interest in anymore. I've had my Goodreads since like 2016, and I just would add any book that I had ever heard of ever to my want to read list. So there were a lot of books on there that I didn't want to read, and this trilogy came up, or at least like the first one did, and I was going to take it off, but then when I looked at some of the reviews and read the description, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to keep this on here. I kind of still want to read this. So these kind of came in at the perfect time before I completely forgot about the series again. So I'm excited, and they're not like super long, so I'll probably be able to read them pretty quickly. And yeah, again, don't know much about this. I think it's about angels, which, you know, the title of the first one would give that impression. That's all I know though, and I'm just kind of excited to see what it's all about. So I only have a few more books to talk about, and 3 of them are all a part of the same trilogy. And it's kind of funny because I never thought I was going to read this trilogy until I saw it in the stack of books to choose from. And that is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Is that what it's called? Yes. Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. So I have the first one, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, the second one, Days of Blood and Starlight, and the third one, which is Dreams of Gods and Monsters. So I, again, don't know much about this series. I think, does this one have to do with angels too? It has something to do with something. Wow. That's excellent synopsis. Alright, so the back of it doesn't really give me that much. It just says it's a sweeping and gorgeously written modern fantasy about a forbidden love, an ancient and epic battle, and hope for a world remade. Is it about angels or fae, or it's about something like that, I think. So honestly, I never thought I was going to read this trilogy. I remember seeing these books on people's bookshelves for years, and I was just like, nope, not for me. Even though I know nothing about them, I just didn't ever feel like inclined to look up what they were about or anything. And then the new covers that came out like last year, I was like, oh, maybe I am interested in this series. Maybe. And now I have them, but I have the old covers. But you know what? Franny was very kind in sending me these books, so I'm not mad about it. The only thing I am mad about is why is this one red on the top and these 2 black? Why didn't they just make them all the same? So many questions. Anyway, so I am excited to try them out. We'll see what I think. I did read Strange the Dreamer, also by Laini Taylor, and I did like that book a lot, so I'm excited to try these out after years of seeing them on people's bookshelves. We'll see if I actually end up liking them. It's a very questionable stack of books. I feel like it's gonna fall down, but anyway, we only have one more book to talk about. So the last book that Franny sent me, this is very generous. So in the pile of books I saw Franny unhauling, I saw this book and I was so surprised and knew that I had to say yes to this one. And that is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This book is so huge. I'm scared. I don't know much about this book. I know it's sapphic and there's dragons, so I'm sold. And I think me, Darian, Sid, and Rachel are going to be buddy reading this, question mark. We were gonna make like a schedule and then we were like, no, let's just wing it, and now who knows what's gonna happen. But I'm excited to read it. I've heard some mixed things, like I've heard really good things, but more recently I've heard some not so great things, but we'll see. I'm still excited. I always want to read more like big chunky fantasies, but I do find it a bit intimidating, so I'm excited. This has been on my TBR for a very long time and I'm just excited to own it. Plus the cover's stunning, and yeah, this is the most exciting thing I think out of this whole haul. Oh my god. Okay, no, we're not doing that. So that is actually going to be it for this very long overdue book haul. I haven't filmed a book haul since January of 2020, so it was time for me to do another one, I think. But definitely let me know in the comments any books you've bought or received recently. If you have a bestie that's always sending you prizes you don't deserve. And also let me know if you've read any of these books, which ones I should be prioritizing and reading as soon as possible, because I'll definitely move it up on the priority list of my TBR. But I think that is it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.